Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint some birds. We're going to be using wood ornaments, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's man chat today, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those, and I'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to be working on some little wood ornament pieces. These are just wood slices, come in a box from Arteza. Arteza is our sponsor today, and actually had this idea to do like an advent calendar, and they said, hey, we've got an advent calendar already. So I wanted to show that to you too, in case you don't want to do all 24 of these little wood things. You can buy one of these kits, and it has wood slices. It's got 3 of the small wood slices in it and several paints and things that you can use, and you get to punch out the little things, which is really satisfying. I already went through and did it this morning. But here's your little wood slices in there, and it comes with paper and some pens. So I'm going to grab the pens out because I'm probably going to use them in mine. I've got a gold and a black here. These are acrylic paint markers. And then it also has a few different colors of paint as well. But I've got those colors in my kit already, so I'm not going to pull those out right now. But anyhow, really fun. It would be fun if, you know, somebody who likes art. And the front is really pretty too. So, whoops, there goes, dumped my pearl sapphire blue. Actually, that'd be kind of a good color for our birds today. So I'm going to just, in this video, I'm just going to try to get as many of these done as I can. So my idea was to have these on either like a wood piece, or I actually saw something the other day that was like a outline of a Christmas tree, and you could hook these onto it and it would hang on your wall or stand up. But anyhow, the idea is to make an advent calendar, and each one of these would have a number on one side and then a bird on the other side. And so as you get through your Christmas season, you switch it over. Everybody knows what an advent calendar is, obviously. 2, 4, 5. So there's 10, 20, and 4. So that's a lot. Don't think we're going to get them all done, but at least you'll get the idea if you want to try it yourself. So again, you could paint the front of these. I kind of started out with the idea that I was going to paint mine black and do like a number here and the bird on the back, but I'm not sure if I want black for Christmas. So I thought maybe we would just kind of play it by ear and see what we want to do on these as we go along. I thought maybe the numbers could have, since they're so plain, side could either have something like this on them, or like, you know, some greenery or something like that with the number, and then on the back side would have our little birds. So I don't know, but I'm going to do these kind of portrait style. So go ahead and show the reference photo, hun, so that our birds are really prominent. I'm just going to do their heads. So we're going to kind of try to pick birds that are really colorful and fun. I'm going to be using the Arteza brush set that I came with, their small acrylic set that had the easel and all the different little paints and things in it. I showed that in a couple other videos that we've done from Arteza. Let's go over our colors too. All right, we've got a lot of them. I'm going to need to move this back so you can actually see them. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just put out kind of a rainbow of colors. I've got a spray bottle. This is just plain water in my spray bottle. Spray them. These are kind of a medium body paint, so they're kind of softer than the heavy bodies that I usually use. So they'll do really well for these wood ornaments. I've got cold gray, black. That's Mars black. Burnt umber, burnt sienna. Orange red. Orange yellow, Indian yellow, yellow pale, mid yellow, oxide yellow, yellow green, phthalo green, emerald green, which is kind of a teal color, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, violet, which is close to like a doxazine purple, Bordeaux red, which would be probably the closest to quinacridone magenta that they have, Carmine Red, Crimson Red, Scarlet Red. So just kind of 3 medium reds, like a cadmiums or something. This one is Magenta Light, so it just would be like a magenta plus white. And then Titanium White and my Naples Yellow, because I forgot to put it over there. Naples Yellow is kind of standing in for the unbleached titanium that I sometimes use. All right, so, whoops, I missed this brush too. Let's get going here. We got a lot to cover. So I'm going to stack these up out of the way. And before the show, my nose was running and I was itchy, my eyes are itchy, and I realized that these are pine and I'm slightly sensitive to pine. So this will be interesting. I'll probably be sneezing by the end of the show today. Didn't really think that through. But you could seal these and then it wouldn't. So you could use like an acrylic sealer of some sort, like a spray sealer, or you could even use like clear gesso. I've done that before on wood slices. That'll actually make them less porous and easier to paint on, or matte medium or something like that. But of course I didn't do that ahead of time, so we're just working with what we got here. So I think I'm going to try a kind of a light green for my first background here. And I'm probably not going to do all the backgrounds because I feel like it's going to probably slow us down. We're going to be able to do fewer birds if we do a bunch of backgrounds on these. But I do kind of want a few with some backgrounds. So I'm going to use the emerald green. I grabbed a little bit of the gray and added it to it so it's not super bright. And I'm just going to, you can see how thirsty these are. So it probably would be good to seal them a little bit with some sort of a medium. In fact, I think I might put out some matte.
And what are you putting out?
Why do I have these all in the way in my palette? Time to move them. There we go. What? I'm putting out some matte medium. Sorry, I'm holding my brush in my mouth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Can you tell I'm a little disorganized today? Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. I'm just going to use that matte medium that'll help seal it as I work. And then that way our next coat will be going on over the top of this. It will be a little bit less thirsty.
There you go.
Yeah, I noticed that the camera. I changed my camera angle because I'm working on a really large canvas, 16 by 20, for my challenge video this month, and I'm probably going to have to change it back for these videos. All right, so getting some darker green here. I'm just going to kind of dab it in here and there, and then we'll have that for our background on our number 1. So let's go ahead and get some blue. I'm going to get some of that cerulean blue and some more of that. And let's just kind of do a few of these with some different backgrounds. And then we'll get to painting on them with our birds. And I'm not being super careful, but I am leaving a little bit of a border of that wood just so that you can kind of see what they are, because that will be, it's kind of the fun part about it. Kind of a tealish blue here. Cerulean blue already has a lot of green tone undertones to it, so I'm adding a little bit of that emerald green with it. It's gonna be nice. And then that matte medium, once it dries, it'll have sealed up our wood a little bit. Okay. Okay. Fun Christmas colors. I don't know. I have all kinds of colors in my house at Christmas time. Let's do a cool gray with this blue. So we'll do kind of a medium color, medium gray. That's pretty. I just kind of thought maybe all these like blues and grays and greens, teals in the background of the birds will really set off the colors of them. But you could do whatever colors you are decorating your Christmas, tree with. So if you're doing bright reds and greens, I would do, some brighter colors, or maybe leave the bright colors for the birds, and choose birds that have the colors that you want, cardinals and different ones that have the brighter colors, reds and greens and things. Okay, that'll get us started. Let's go ahead and, well, nope. I'm just going to keep on going until these first ones are dry, and then I can go back. So we'll just keep adding colors to these until let's get some kind of a blue gray with a little bit more of a purplish undertone here. This is the Cobalt in the Arteza paint line. Sorry about that hair there. I'm going to get a little bit of white. The white will make this a little bit more opaque because I'm finding that this color is not covered very well. There we go. That's really pretty. Very pretty. And again, you could just use the background of the wood too. You don't have to do, or you could do both sides, if you wanted to. I think I'm going to leave the number sides all the same. And that'll really kind of give a dramatic reveal, so the other sides would be just the wood. And then as you reveal your birds, you're going to have these really beautiful, colorful backgrounds. That one's almost dry. Almost dry. The matte medium will take it a little bit longer to dry, so that's normal. Let's go ahead and do like a really soft sage green. I'm going to get a little bit of the phthalo green with my white. Ooh, that's pretty.
And of course, you can do other things in birds. You can do like flowers.
Oh, absolutely.
You can do candy. You can do tanks. Whatever theme you want to roll with.
Classic Christmas themes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's just you do you.
Well, and you could do these all year long too. I mean, you could, these are being the birds, you could have them hanging all year long and then just flip them over for Christmas time and, do them special that way if you wanted to, or, have them hanging around your house or whatever. While these are drying, so I'm going to start with these 5. These will be my first 5 here. Really like the backgrounds so far. I think these will be pretty. Pick colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. That will make sure that they're all called analogous. Make sure that they'll go together. All right. So I want to just show this before we'll just let these dry. I'm going to set those up out of the way. Push my paints out of the way here. I want to just show you how to do the hangers. So this set comes with jute, which is really pretty. It's very classic, like rope-like, natural looking, and it's really pretty. But I did happen to just buy a bunch of this stuff here, like a whole huge thing of it, and I was like, well, let's use that instead. Might as well. It's got a little bit of a shine to it. You can find those. I found mine at like a discount retail shop in town here. And so I picked up a piece of wire. This is like just a wire that I use for the back of my paintings to hang them. It's covered with a little bit of plastic, but you could use really any kind of wire as long as you could get it through the hole. So it doubles up. And take your length of cord. This is probably, I don't know, over probably 16 inches, maybe something like that. Doubled it up and grab the looped end and hook your piece of wire through. And the wire just needs to be long enough to be able to get through this hole. Push it through and then pull that loop through. You don't have to pull it through very much. You just have to get it to where that loop will come through. And this is the way I like to do my ornaments so that they hang straight. Because if you do them, I'll show you here in a minute. So these will hang kind of flat. You see how it's not twisting, turning. It kind of holds it a little bit better flat. And then you want to knot your ends together however long you want your ornament to be. Knot them like that so that they won't pull out. If you try to tie them together like a bow, they're going to come loose. So that is how I like to do them. If you, and I'll show you the other way, if you were to have just one length through and tie them like this, they're gonna twist. See how it turns, and it's gonna try to line up this way instead of flat against your wall or whatever surface you're doing. So it's not going to want to hang straight. It's going to want to hang with the, wherever these are at. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. Mark's like, move on. We get it.
No, I was just making sure that you were seeing on camera there.
Oh, okay, thanks.
You were doing a good job.
Thank you, hon.
And I was singing, a needle pulling thread. Sing along, everybody.
I have got Pine. This is kind of messy, so just kind of know that going in too. These are kind of messy. All right, I think these are ready. Yay! These are ready to go. All right, so let's get out a little pencil here. This is my charcoal pencil. And I'm just going to draw in my birds' shapes. So let's see what we want to do here on this lighter blue one here. Well, let's do our blue jay on this one. Yeah, on the green. So his face has got a real distinct shape there. And then the beak comes in at an angle. And arrows like that. The eye is right directly across from the beak. And then it's got some dark coloring here. And then his little breast coming down here. And we're seeing just a little bit of his coloring there. All right, so let's grab a little bit smaller brush here. I'll go ahead and use the Filbert. I think this is the small number 2 Filbert. And I'm going to use the Ultramarine Blue and some white and some Cerulean Blue, so it's kind of a medium. There we go. Nice medium blue. They're kind of a blue-green bird, so I might even add some little bit of green to it. Hopefully this green is not too dark. And I'm really going to do these very kind of loose style, so I'm not going to try to do a ton of detail. We've got too many of them to do, so I think that'll be kind of fun to have sort of a looser style on these too. Okay, let's get some of the white. Put some white down here. It's kind of mixing with my color, but that's all right. White around the eye, down here, and I'm kind of putting these brush strokes kind of in the direction that I'm seeing the feathers so that they have a little bit of, go ahead and zoom way in, honey. Why were we so far back?
Because you're going to go off camera if I zoom in.
Okay. Well, there. There we go.
Yeah, because then if you go off camera, then I get in trouble because, I'm the camera guy.
Right. Getting some ultramarine blue and mixing in the phthalo green to make it a little bit more deep toned. There we go. This is definitely like kind of blending into the background. Color's a little soft. I'm getting my black. Let's go ahead and do his beak. A little bit watery for some reason. They come together pretty quick. Once you kind of get into the rhythm, I think we'll be able to get several of them done, hopefully.
It's kind of like the Raven that you did, where you just put in the highlights in the right area,
Right.
and it just pops out.
Yep. Put a little bit of detail down here on where the wings are. It's cute. Let's get some white. And I'm just going to kind of go over the top of the beak here. It's just a little bit wet still. Maybe put a little bit of highlight up there by the eye. Oh, I forgot the little black stripe that goes from the eye down here there. There we go. And let's get the smaller brush here. A little bit smaller round. And some white. Give him a little highlight in his eye. Whoops. That black's not dry, so it's... There we go. There we go. Do a little bit darker shadow along the bottom there. And get some more white here. I've got little puddles of water on my palette, and it's... When I hit them, they're... Not sure what I'm doing. I think when I'm cleaning my brush out, I'm bringing water droplets with me. Okay, so there's little details on the wings there. Let's go ahead and give it a little fluff on his chest. He's got this little kind of fluffy area there on his chest that kind of fluffs out and under his beak, and get a little bit of the black and bring the black down here. Okay, and then maybe there's a little highlight on, I'm going to clean up his beak too. That is one thing about this wood too. That's kind of why I'm kind of doing this sort of softer or like less detailed version of the birds, is because the wood is a little bit textured, and so it can kind of grab, and it's a little harder to get like a straight line out of it somewhat, but I still like the look of it. All right, so there's our first one, and we'll let him dry. We might do some more to him later, but that's going to be our first little guy there. Fun. All right, let's do a darker bird on him, just so that it shows up. So let's do the cedar waxwing, maybe. Well, no, the cedar waxwing will look good on here. Maybe, let me think. We'll do the cardinal on this one. Well, I'm going to think on that one. So the cardinal is going to be all up in here. They have a much bigger beak than the blue jay. And they've got a little dark, again, from the split in the beak, the eye comes straight back there. And almost straight back from the beak. A little bit of a curve right here, and the beak kind of comes down a little bit. And then here, that black comes around here, and he's got kind of like a little bib of black, and then around like that. Okay. Get my reds. So these might not cover very well on this. Let me get some orange red with my, I'm not sure if that was the scarlet. Well, no, this is the scarlet. There we go. Oh, it's actually covering pretty well. And one thing that I haven't mentioned before, but if you want to make your painting a little bit easier to layer, you can like smooth out any of the big lumps and things that you're seeing in it. And it also, to me, it looks a little bit more professional. Unless you're like deliberately going for texture. Having big, huge clumps of paint in your, painting, it kind of makes it look a little bit more amateurish. And like I said, sometimes you're wanting that effect. So, but if you're kind of trying to do smooth detail and you've got a lot of like clumps in it, it's just doesn't look great. So go ahead and I think I probably made his head way too big. We'll see. I'm going to get the black. And again, putting it in, but not putting it in like a solid piece. He's got feathers, so they're kind of going to overlap a little bit. It's not going to be a straight line. Like that. I feel like I kind of put too much feathers right up here. Get some of that blue that I used in this background. Adjusting his head there. Here we go. All right, then the beak is very yellow on him, so I'm going to use the kind of yellow, reddish orange. Sorry, not yellow, orange. That's the word I'm trying to say.
I was like, I don't see yellow, but okay.
I'm in art brain really heavily right now. There's no telling what I'll be saying. Sometimes I play back my videos and I say the totally wrong thing multiple times. Multiple happens all the time. It's just like my brain has gone on to the next word before I've said it, So it just kind of end up saying something weird that I didn't intend to say. All right. This is going to be straight here. Use a little bit of the darker, like the black mixed in to fix that angle there. And let's do the eye. Really dark black right there. Gonna get some of that red that we used on our Cardinal. Scarlet, a little bit of white to help it be more opaque. I'm going to try doing those again. I think the angle was too high up. This way it actually kind of goes back with the head. Like this way. Again, I think I still made it too big, but oh well. Excuse me. This is my throat closing up.
Need some Benadryl over
Pretty sure. I actually probably do. Probably do. Really didn't think this through. Okay, again, a little bit of black, just mixing it with that red to kind of give some color here. And I'm going to make the back a little bit bigger. I think that'll help the head not look so huge. So just a little bit darker red there and there. That kind of rounds his body out too. Helps make it look more natural. Okay, I want this red to kind of come down over his forehead a little bit. So I'm going to get some white with this red and give him a highlight right here. There we go.
And your Arteza link below will take them to where they can buy.
Yes, thank you for
stuff,
mentioning
right?
that. Yes, yes. It takes them to the website, their main acrylic page, and then you just kind of put in like advent calendar in the search and it'll pop up.
Or wood slices or anything else that you're
Right,
looking for.
yes, yeah. Yeah, the wood slices are really reasonable too. Like the whole box was not very much. It's like pennies for each one. So they're not expensive at all. So it makes it really economical to do these. Yeah, they make great Christmas presents. I do these for my friends often. For several years, I gave when I was doing, when I used to do like craft shows and sell my paintings in galleries and different things. When I was selling that way, I would end up with, extra. I always did a lot of ornaments because ornaments sell really well this time of year, especially hand-painted ones. And so my friends got ornaments for Christmas presents for years. Yep.
Back before you were world famous.
Right.
Hopefully they've collected them.
Hopefully.
And kept them.
No, they have. A lot of them have. I go, when
good.
I go over to their houses at Christmas, they'll have them up.
Right.
So, I mean, some of my friends, like Stacy, has some of them from like way back when I was doing wood crafts and things, like before I was even doing canvases. She's got the old ones. It's really funny.
Nice.
Yes. The really vintage. All right, so I got to get this angle right. So this comes down here and it goes straight up right here, this little section. That will make it better. And then this area right here is... I added the yellow, the lighter yellow, because it just wasn't showing up, so that will help it cover a little bit better. And then I can go back in and add my shadows back in. I still left that kind of shadow right there, and then I'm going to use a darker red to kind of shadow the bottom of the beak there. All right, so that's good. I don't want to spend a lot of time on each bird. I probably need to spend like 5 minutes on each bird to get them all done. A little highlight in the eye, and then I'm going to use gray, maybe a little bit of black, just kind of a light gray, and kind of circle around the eye. That helps. And then use the black there to kind of fill it in. And then I'm going to use some of this gray just in my black areas, especially like right around the beak and around the eye. It kind of just helps sort of make it look like there's feathers there, have not just a solid black area, but, have some different tones of black. Whoops, I covered up my highlight. Get a little bit more white there. There we go. All right, so there's our two for now. I definitely think he needs more highlights. So maybe before I go, I'm going to just do that. I'm going to get some orangey red here. Just some of that red orange and some white with that scarlet red. So it's like a light red. There we go. If you add yellow or orange to your reds when you're trying to highlight, it'll keep them from turning pink. So we don't want him to be pink. But if I want it lighter, I need to... There we go. It'll look pretty light now, but we can always come back here and add more red on top. So we'll just start there, and let me get a little bit of that brighter red and just kind of go around this and on top of it a little bit. blended in so it's not so on its own there. It has a little transition to the red parts. Okay, much better. Now he's got a little bit of dimension. Love this guy who's kind of looking over his shoulder at us. I like that pose. It's cute. He's definitely kind of messier. I want a little bit more detail on the cardinals, but sometimes the birds that have less colors, like just red and black like this, can be harder to do because you have less to work with as far as like how to show depth and dimension and things. So, all right, I'm still not sure which one to do that. I actually think I want to do a quail on this. I have a picture of a quail that would be really cute on that. Let's do yellow on this guy. I think that'll be pretty against that smoky blue. So we'll do our yellow bird over here. I'm going to get some white. Yellow is not, it's not easy to cover. It's not very opaque usually. So even when it is opaque, quote unquote, it still doesn't cover over other colors very well. So using some white in it will help you a lot. All right, so there's our beak. This guy's got a big belly. He's just a big, fluffy yellow bird. But he's got he's got a tiny little head, but in big body. Some sort of a sparrow-looking bird. I'm not sure what he is. But there, straight across from the beaks, the point of the beak there, usually the eye, be right there. And he's kind of in profile, so it's kind of right in the middle of his head. And really kind of just comes straight off the back, kind of comes straight off the head there. And then the beak right here. Okay, so there's our little yellow bird. Let's go ahead and fill him in with yellow on his head. Cute. It's probably a warbler. Maybe. Somebody will know.
I was out walking at lunch the other day, and I think it was a meadowlark.
Oh, yeah, those are so pretty.
With a yellow breast.
Yeah. Yeah, those are beautiful.
Kind of squawked at me.
Oh, really?
And then dove into the grass.
Oh, wow.
I also was walking and walked past an armadillo.
No, really?
Yeah. He wasn't more than 3 or 4 feet from me.
What?
I was going to take a picture, but I didn't want to stop because I wasn't sure how he was going to react.
If he was going to be aggressive or not.
Right. So I just kept on going.
Where were you at?
At work.
There's an armadillo at your work?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's outside the fence.
Oh, okay.
I take different paths just to keep it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So when I walk outside the facility, there's like a grassy area on the other side of the road.
Wow.
You know, all kinds of wildlife.
I'm using some mid-yellow here and my 2 browns, burnt umber and burnt sienna. That's crazy. I don't know if I've seen an armadillo except for a dead one. We had that dead one in our yard that one time.
Well, you should get up with me early and you can see him.
Oh, really? You see him all the time?
Well, I'll see him on the road when I'm going out, sometimes walking across.
Oh, that's funny.
Deer.
Yeah, deer. Don't get me started.
They come to the buffet in front of the house.
We blocked them out of the backyard. So then they just decided, okay, really? All right. Well, then I'm just going to eat all your flowers in your front yard. You want to play that? You want to play that game? Okay. Well, we can play that. You like your lilies? So do I. They're delicious. This is me and my impression of my deer in my yard. Yeah. All right, some gray and burnt umber. Oh, this is so fun. I like these colors against that blue, too. It's really pretty. Letting some of the blue show through on his back. Let's get a little bit of the darker now, burnt umber. And I'm just looking at the direction that the feathers are kind of coming down here. Got little details on his back. This one's really fun because he's got lots of dots and things. So it's a good one. All right, so kind of from down from the eye, there's like a little area right here. Comes back and down, and then there's a little separation, and then another section right here that kind of comes in and down. And my brush is not got too much paint in it. Okay, you gotta time me. Oh, it's just got gray on it. Okay. I need more white. Okay. He's cute. Yeah, see, this one was smaller too, so that's kind of going by the size of the... These are all kind of a little bit different sizes. But I do like the blue jay on the green. I think it works. And it's definitely like the yellow on here. It's really pretty with this blue gray. And then let's get the gray for the beak. And get some burnt umber. Just kind of go around where that beak kind of comes down. Cute. Okay, so we're almost done here. Get some, I'm using the one round here too to do this. Get some little highlights around the eye and just a little highlight in the beak, and then highlight the, I'm sorry, in the eye. So this is where I'm talking about, thinking about the beak and saying eye. I need to round that out a little bit. Again, I kind of covered up too much of it. There we go. No, he doesn't have a ton of separation there, but I'm kind of going to give him a little bit more than I'm seeing. And then I want the yellow and white. Really get a good bright yellow here. Mostly white, a little bit of yellow. There. Over the eye and a little bit over here. And we can use that kind of white to kind of give them a little bit of highlight in here. What? Going low? Sorry. Okay. Okay, there we go. There's our birds. And I think I'm going to splatter them maybe with some white to make it look like it's snowing when I get them done. Let's go ahead and do one of these while we're waiting. I'm going to do one with a gray that has a little bit of green in it. Like a slightly yellow gray color. Get some of this yellow and a little bit of the gray and maybe a little bit of this yellow green. So, as I do a new color, introduce new colors like the yellows, I will use it on the rounds here. How are we doing for time? Okay, so we're at 1 hour and we've got 3 done. It's about where I thought we would be.
I'm doing great.
I thought we would be good to do about 6. I really want to do 12, but at least 12, but I don't think I'm going to get them done today. And I really would ideally like to have, like a dozen of them, or not a dozen, but like all 24 done, but. All right, we'll let that set. Out. Oh, it's not quite dry yet. So far, so good, though. These are fun. And another thing that I thought you could do is like do some little greenery in the background. So if you wanted to, you could, before you started your bird, do some like little little bits of pine needles or something like that, kind of coming off the side here, just to kind of fill up some of the open areas on here. That doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of adds some movement, to it. So maybe on this one, adding some lighter green. Kind of things. I don't know. Just a thought. All right. Let's get them going. I'm going to move these that I haven't used yet over so I don't have to wash. I can keep track of which ones I've used and not used. All right. So let's do the little, let me think. Do the little white chickadee on this guy because it's so bright. Their little beak is teeny tiny. And then they've got this big old head. It's kind of the opposite of the last one we did. Or it might be a wren of some sort. I can't remember. We get these guys.
Which one?
The little white one.
In the upper right corner?
Mm-hmm.
It's a chickadee.
That's what I thought. Okay. Well, there's a difference. There's a way to tell a chickadee from other birds that look like them, and I can't remember what it is now, but some of them that look like chickadees are actually different wrens.
It's next to the crow's beak. In your left. Montage bottom.
The one in the middle? Oh, no, this is a robin.
Over here.
Oh, well, they can't see those.
Right.
Yeah. Where? That one. Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, getting the white. Let's go ahead and start with the white here since he's got covering up this darker color. We'll probably need a couple layers. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this. I love advent calendars. We've got one that we bought years ago that we pull out every year. It's just like magnets. It's got little different magnets, and you could probably do that with this actually, you know, do them as magnets. It'd be really big, but now that it's funny, the stainless steel refrigerators, they're not magnetic, so you can't.
Only the sides of them are.
Only the sides of them are, yeah. So we have moved the advent calendar to the side of the fridge now. But my son Spencer he's going to be 20 next week, and he religiously does it. It doesn't matter. Yep. So cute. It doesn't matter how old he gets. And I'm like, I love an advent calendar too. I get it. So I love it.
Hey, real quick, I just checked the link for the Arteza website. They're sold out of the wood slices there.
Oh boy.
But if you click the link to the Amazon down below and then do a search for Arteza wood slices, Amazon does have them in stock right now.
Okay.
So if you do, please use the link down below, because then Angela will still get credit.
Yes.
And we'll get a little bit of referral, no extra cost to you.
Yes.
So thank you. And if you're in the future, like 2073, I don't know the status of stock anywhere. So you're on your own.
That's as of today here in 2021. Yes.
Right.
Check. All right. Getting the gray. This one's definitely like more textured. I've noticed that some of these wood slices are more textured. You can see how it's not wanting to go down into the grain, which honestly don't quite mind, because I kind of like the look of it. I like the look of it kind of bleeding through, especially for this kind of style of painting. But if you don't like that, what you can do is thin out your paint a little bit, make it a little bit more watery. The water will help make it seep down into those cracks a little bit better. So using the black on top of that gray. And this actually kind of comes out straight right here. And then that dark comes around the head. Really fun. Little teeny tiny beak with the gray. I'm going to get a little bit of white here. Highlight the top. Do I need to move it up so you can zoom in a little bit more?
You want me to zoom in, yes.
I feel like I probably should. Get some more black. Here we go. So he's got this black underneath his beak. Oops.
Now, you don't have to take into consideration the position of the colors on the color wheel when you're painting your fingers, right? I mean, it's a free-for-all at that point.
Right. It's
Okay.
pretty much
Just want to make sure.
doesn't have to match. You noticed that, did you? These little ones like this, you're going to get it all over. You might want to wear gloves. Or just go with it. All right, get a little bit of white. Gonna highlight the top of that eye just a little bit. Tiny little brush stroke there. Just kind of dry brushed it. And get some more of that white. Kind of tap it in around the beak a little bit. This brush is a little bit too big. Let me get a smaller brush. This is the Rigger, which is kind of the liner of their set that they have. And I've been using the Arteza brushes in all these recent videos. It's a new thing for them. They just came out with the brushes, and I'm really pleased with how well they do. I'm having no problems using them at all for these paintings. And they've got different different sets that you can buy. Okay. Oops. A bit too much gray there. Getting some white. Wanted a little bit of gray, kind of just mixed in. Whenever you're doing white, it just helps to have like a little bit of another color. You okay? Mark swallowed wrong.
Breathe it in.
Okay. Getting a little bit of gray. I'm bringing the gray down in the body here. Oh, he's cute. Okay, maybe get a little bit of bright white. We'll just do a little bright highlight on his eye there. And it's kind of hard to tell because we've got chalk lines still showing, but I think that beak's looking good. I want that black to come down all the way down to the beak though. And have black right up underneath it too. I'm going to bring the beak in just a little bit. Okay. So there's a little chickadee. He's cute. I'm going to use some water, just kind of wipe off the chalk lines that I'm seeing. And if you wanted to, you can use, colored pencils or other things on here and then, just seal it in. So if you wanted to draw on here too, you can totally do that, to do certain details. Or I could use the black pen for the eye or for the highlights or whatever. So there's our first 4. Not bad. All right, so you could even just do the date on the back, like if you don't want to do the advent calendar. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do on mine, if I'm going to get them done in time this year. So I may just give these away. We'll see. To friends. All right. Let's do one that maybe has some color. So, actually, let's do the quail on this one. So go ahead and show the other birds. They're off to the side. I've got 3 different things of birds that I made up to give me some ideas. So I think I'm going to do that bottom one right there, the little quail. I love quail. I just love the little thingamabobs off the top of their heads. We had quail growing up in California. We saw them running around the desert. So they kind of one of my favorite birds. Very distinctive look. And then big belly. There. I can't even see the eye. I think it's back here. But they got a small beak for the, for the side of their head. Okay. I'm going to zoom in my picture a little bit so I can see it better. I'm going to start with the beak and the head, since that's the most distinctive part on him. And it actually kind of comes up over a little bit higher than I've got it here. It's like that. I got that kind of thick right there. Okay. There we go. I mean, come on, how cute. Cute is that? So cute. It's like got a little question mark on the top of their heads. Curved beak. And in, it kind of comes up like a smile. And then the eyes back in here, kind of middle of the head. And then they've got these little like stripes down here, and this whole thing is really dark. So getting a little bit of gray. And I'm going to use the white while I've got this eye in focus here. Kind of just mark it out where the eye is so that I know where to put it. Okay, sorry. I'll move over a little bit so you can zoom in. And then at the top of the head, it's kind of got a brownish gray black. It's very flat. Okay. I'm going to get some burnt siennas. They have like a brownish, like a rusty color at the top there. A little bit in here too. And then the body, this is really beautiful blue-gray. So I'm going to get some white and outline that bit right there. Looks like he's got a headband, doesn't he? You know, like paint him with some joggers on. Alright, gonna get some Ultramarine Blue. I didn't put out my Payne's Gray, but you could use that. Maybe add a little bit more blue to it. I've got a little bit of Cerulean, or no, the Cobalt Blue here too. Blue. I'm going to use the Cold Gray, which has got that blue color in it. Maybe a little bit of the Cerulean too. I'm seeing a little bit more of a greenish tint as I'm doing this. I'm going to get the Prussian Blue. Probably what I want.
What would you take for?
There's the Phthalo Blue. Prussian Blue, there we go. Because Prussian Blue will have a little bit more of that color that I'm looking for. I'm going to put some more Ultramarine Blue out because I'm out of it, and put some more black out too, and some white again while we're running low. Gray. Yeah, I don't know how helpful these little tiny pictures of birds will be. Honestly, you can probably move it off for now. They get an idea of what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. And then I'll add a little bit of the cerulean blue, a little bit of that cold gray. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of phthalo green too. It's still just a little bit too. Okay. This is one where I wish I had the whole body to show because it's got such a cool color. I'm using a little bit of burnt umber just to kind of tone it down, darken it up. Down here. Cute. Some white. Add that to this blue. Lots of little brush strokes all down this back. Little bitty. Get a little bit of that darker blue. Add some of that in. I'm going to add a little bit of the burnt umber to that Prussian blue. That'll make it a little closer to the color I think we want. Kind of transition between that dark of the head and the body here. I'm going to use that light gray, green, blue-green. Right there, and then I'm going to get the bright white, and I actually need to bring this up a little bit. I think I came down too low. I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer to the face. There. So do this part blue.
So I know in your other Arteza videos you've talked about it. What's your professional opinion for the paints?
Yeah, they're good. They're softer, so I think that they're actually for beginners. The softer paints are a little bit easier to handle, I believe. In my experience, it's kind of, so I usually start out my beginner classes when I would work with the kids' classes. I would work with a paint that would be similar to this in consistency. So it's definitely a good paint. I haven't had any issues with the clarity of the colors or anything like that. And I think that especially the larger sets, it's actually nice for beginners to have this many paint options, because then you're not having to mix so much, you know. And I think color mixing can be one of the trickier things when you're first learning to paint. So it kind of just gets you started without it being too overwhelming, I think. So I definitely think they're beneficial. And, you know, we showed last time we painted, I showed some brushes, and I didn't show the paints, but I get a lot of requests to review and use different paints and products. And I don't do a lot of videos with sponsors because I'm pretty picky, and you know, I don't just do it. I don't recommend products unless I think that they would work well for the folks that, you know, are going to be buying based off my recommendations. So just the fact that I'm doing this video means that I have tried them and like them, you know. We don't turn down many sponsored videos, you know, that were just not good paints or good, you know, or good products.
Right.
So just not in it for that reason. I want to help people learn to paint, and if I'm telling them to buy products and things that are not going to help them in their growth, and it's not going to.
Exactly.
It's
not
not.
worth it.
I feel like it's a trust that you guys have put into it, you know, in us. When you watch our videos and you buy the things we recommend, and I'm certainly not going to, you know, betray that trust and recommend something that I don't think is going to be a useful product. So hopefully you guys know that. But if you're new to our channel, that's kind of our philosophy. Okay, there we go. It's cute. I think I'm not really 100% happy with the eye. Let me see about.
Okay, you have to keep it over that.
Okay.
So you stay centered.
Okay, thank you. There we go. I feel like I'm leaning forward if I'm, you know, but yeah, I know. I will. I'll do better. But there we go. There's our little quail dude. Super cute. I added a little bit of highlights to the top of his head there. Here, let's show all of them so far. See, those would be cute. I definitely. All right. That didn't stick, so I'm going to move that, but I'll try. I'm going to do the robin on this, the little gray robin. Gray and peachy color. Let's go ahead and draw him. Better to draw it than regret. I'm never going to get this color back, so I'd have to paint the whole thing, the whole background again if I don't do it right. So this is the European robin. It's got the orangey color, and his eyes are way back here. Again, usually right across from the beak. Split in the beak. I'm going to flatten his head out a little bit. He's got, yeah, so that kind of comes up like that and comes straight back. You doing puppy cam? You can't see it.
Well, I was gonna do it, but he walked up to it.
Oh, he walked up to it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that face. Angel. Like mom's working. Yeah, he was not happy on Thursday when I came in here to work. He did not want me to be in here. Okay, there we go. Cute. I think picking birds that have different shapes, well, they're all so unique, you know, so it's not that hard to find, you know, just all these different really unique fun species of birds. I'm using the Naples Yellow and the orange. Let's use a little bit of the Indian Yellow. I need more white. That was a cute shot.
Mm-hmm.
Puppy cam, although he's not a puppy anymore. He's a 1-year-old boy. Toddler. He came down with a limp the other day. And then I took him to the vet and he stopped limping as soon as we got there. Like, I convinced them to work us in because he was obviously really hurt. And then as soon as we got there, he stopped limping. I'm like, dude. And he hasn't limped since. It's like, I swear he was pretending. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You know?
Well, he
probably caught it on something, or he was probably sore.
He was milking it when I came home.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
true.
He didn't run to the door, and he kind of stayed on the couch with you, and he just.
Well, he had a fever, so he had something going on, but I don't know why he was.
But then the next day, he's like jumping and bouncing and running and pulling.
Yeah. Yep. I just thought it was funny that as soon as we got and walked in the door, he just stopped limping. Yeah, I had to carry him in literally. And then he wanted down, and he just kind of started walking around like nothing was happening. I'm like, dude, I put him outside before we went to the vet, and he wouldn't even stand to go to the bathroom outside. And then, yeah, whatever, puppies. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm using the Scarlet Red here with my orangey reds, just filling in. Really like this guy. I love this against that green. It's really pretty. The yellow-green color. It's a nice color combination. Let's get some of the gray. This is just a plain gray. And I'm probably going to need some more cold gray too, but we'll see. So use the gray on the top. Now this might be where it's not going to show up too much against the green, but it looks like it's all right. So if your value of your background is the same value as your bird, then you might have trouble, getting him to show up against it. So just kind of when you're picking your colors and things, keep that in mind, that you probably need to have some sort of a contrast so that you can see where one starts and the other one, stops, kind of thing. Getting a little bit of black and maybe a little bit of burnt umber, and add that to this gray. And use that on the wing and kind of the back of the head. And that'll kind of help to define it. There's a ton of public domain photos of birds everywhere, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding pictures to use. And you can trace it if you don't want to draw them. You could always print it out and trace it onto your canvas. Some tracing paper. transfer paper. Getting some black. Add the black at the bottom. Bottom half of the beak. There, and then a little bit on the nose, nostril section. Right there. And then let's get some white for the top. And then our black for the eye. He came together pretty quick. Nice. And he used the liner brush here. And I'm just going to use some of this gray around the eye. Kind of just helps set the eye into the face, have a little gray around it. I'm going to use the darker reddish color around the beak right here to kind of set it in. Like a shadow, kind of where it attaches there. A little bit of burnt umber, maybe. A bit of the darker color on the wing. And then make sure that the breast has some darker reds too.
So I heard you talking about public domain pictures for the birds, and I was barely paying attention. You did mention that you did a bird series that they could also use as a reference.
Yes, yeah, the reference photo or the thumbnail that I had up before, in my schedule and stuff. I just photoshopped the birds that I'd painted before. So because somebody was like, "Why are you using somebody else's birds?" And I'm like, I painted those. Like, I don't know, they're mine. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. People.
So there's a dozen of those, right?
No, there's 6 of them, I think.
6, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you paint them twice, it's a dozen.
Right. A little bit of highlights in the eye there. There we go. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. I might maybe give the gray a little extra feathers in here, so like a little bit darker. Kind of looks sort of flat there, so just kind of adding a little extra feathers there. Feathery feathers. Maybe get a little bit of the orange in my mostly white, just a slight little bit of orange around the eye and like on top here. There's a little on the cheek right here too. Around the beak. Okay, happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to take these 6 here and go ahead and zoom out a little bit there so I can see them all. Let me get a fan brush and some white.
Uh-oh. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Why? I want to make them look like it's snowing.
Oh no, here it comes, everybody.
Okay, I'm going to move everything out of the way though.
It's about to get real.
Now, if you want bigger snowflakes, what you can do is, and I don't want it right around the eye, so if you have some that hit the eye, go ahead and dab those off because you don't want it competing with the highlight in the eye because it'll kind of be hard to tell what's what. So you can kind of put your hand there or something in front of it if you don't want. It might snow it snows in New Mexico. They probably have quails there, right? It snows in Northern California, parts of Arizona in the north. Okay, so before that dries, I'm gonna get this wet paper towel here and just dab off the face. Right there, so I don't have you can dab it off wherever, if it looks too dark somewhere. But here he's got some snow, really cute. And then what I was saying before is if I find my Q-tips, I'm gonna just take most of this off.
Cotton swabs.
Cotton swabs. Ear cleansers. And do transparent white, so make sure that it's got lots of water in it, and it makes better snow because it just looks a little too harsh when you've got a thick, heavy, solid white. So this kind of transparent white looks
kind of gives it that
more realistic.
Gives it depth.
Yeah.
Snowing in front and back.
And some bigger flakes here and there. So you've got smaller ones and bigger ones. All sizes. You could use the fuzzy tip if you wanted to, this side to get even bigger ones in here and there. Some of them.
Hey, real quick. On Patreon, for those that are on the level for the reference photos.
Yes.
Will you have all 3 sets?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I will. Yeah.
And that's at the $5 level and above?
Yes.
Okay. So $2 is the traceables, and then $5 is traceables and that, and
reference photos and bonus videos.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was fun. Super cute. All right. Do we want to keep going or call that good for today? What do you think?
Well, it's up to you, babe. I'm here all day.
So the other thing was, like, if we were to do the back, you could use a pen I'd probably do my numbers with a pen, and that'll make it a little bit easier. So this set had had the black pen. And just do I think that what I would do on here is do some greenery. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just do some greenery on the back sides of these. And some pine needles. I'll do my number first, though. Maybe do a double wide. You can hear it kind of catching on that wood, and it does kind of spread a little bit, so just kind of keep that in mind.
Now use numbers that are applicable to your language, and so.
Pretty sure numbers are universal, aren't they? Not the way they're said, but yeah.
I know for, Americas and Europe for sure, but I'm not sure as you go like into the Far East and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe you're right.
I think in Australia they're upside down. Somebody can double check that with me, yeah?
I don't think that's true.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to make this a little bit wider at the base. Just give it a little more character.
Oh, that's me.
Wider at the base? Me too.
Just more character. You're going low on the thing. I'm zooming out, so.
All right. Here, I'm going to see which ones I want put side by side. That'll work. 1, 2, 3.
So somebody suggested they could use a stencil if they're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're not.
Absolutely. You can also print these out. They have, fonts, free fonts on all kinds of different websites, and just make sure that it's a reputable one. DA font is one that I use that's not going to download a virus to your computer. Been there. It's not fun. But you can print out your numbers and then, trace them on here too. So just like you would your image, and lettering the same. That's if you're new to lettering and you're not comfortable with it, that's the easiest way of doing it, is just to trace it on, and then you're just basically filling in the lines. Cute. All right, I'm not going to do all of them, but I'll just show you kind of what the idea here.
And again,
so there, and then what?
Now, would you recommend that they paint all of theirs first and then decide, which ones they want to be the first turn and the fourth turn?
Yeah, probably. In that way, you can kind of line them up and figure out also how you're going to display them, because you might have, a color below another color that's the same kind of thing.
Right.
You
don't want to have all the blue ones in the first 7 days and all the green ones on the next, or
exactly.
maybe you do. You want to group it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of throw some greenery around here. You could do whatever you wanted on this, There's all kinds of different options, but little berries. Just pick a light source, so whatever, wherever this looks very fake, so I really need a reference photo for this. Oh well.
It looks cool.
It's a little bit.
It gives it that rustic feel.
Yeah, okay. You're sweet. I don't like berries, but I'd have to kind of figure those out. Getting some black, adding that to my green, because my dark green's gone. There we go. And then maybe some white.
And for those who want to know, the bird series was done back in 2018. So you may have to scroll through all the hundreds of videos to go down, or you might be able to just
search for Angela Anderson birds, or maybe. Yep. There was a cardinal, a cedar waxwing, a blue jay, probably the same one that we did, or similar, that we did today. Okay, so there we go. You kind of get the idea. I didn't do a very good job on this here, but I don't know if I can get that off now. I'll see about getting better red. I think it's just the color. And they're two lined up, so move one down here so that they're a little bit more randomized. There we go. Cute. And I definitely would need in darker greens here and there. You kind of need that contrast, so it makes your lighter areas come forward. So make sure you get some good darks in there too. But
got a good question. Somebody would like to know, would you varnish these?
Yes, for sure. I would spray these with, spray them probably. Because of the wood, because of this, you're not going to be able to brush it, but you want to seal that up probably. So like an acrylic clear coat of some sort would probably be my choice. And yeah, seal it up really good. And then that way you're going to preserve it and nothing. Because this is so porous that if you just accidentally, had a child touch it with the dirty hands or something, then you would end up, ruining it, and you don't want that to happen. So,
not that our children ever had dirty hands,
or the grandchild would,
and they never touched anything.
Never touched anything they weren't supposed to touch.
Right, they were perfect.
Well,
angels.
the whole point of this is for them to touch it and turn it over. So, if you would want to be sure that you had it so they could do that and didn't have to worry about ruining it. Okay, where's my... All right. So you get the idea, but I would definitely probably find some fonts that are good. My numbering is okay, but I don't like my one. I don't know. So if you mess it up, just paint over the whole thing. Easy solution. I would do your numbers first, and then that way, this set comes with 50, I think, 45. So if you mess up your numbers, then you can always, do another one and then do your birds after you get the numbers done. Because I would say that the numbers are probably more likely to mess up, and then you'll have the backgrounds painted of the, birds. But if you're going to leave the wood, natural, then you that would be harder to cover if you mess it up, kind of thing. But so yeah, that's how it would, hang or like that. You'd have one, all your numbers, and then as you flip them over, it would look like that. Of course, your one would be the first one to flip, but you'd see what I mean. Yeah. Anyhow, okay. Well, I'm going to stop there. Lots and lots and lots of different birds you can do. 6, I think, is a good number for a start. And I really like how they turned out. I hope you liked it too. And give the links down below if you want to purchase the supplies from Arteza, the paints and brushes and all that good stuff. They have all kinds of really good art bundles right now at Christmas time. So there's all kinds of sets that come with, all kinds of paints and things. And they're really reasonable prices. I found really good way to get started. Even something like this, comes with 3. So you could start on them, see what you think, or, give it to a friend or family member or buy it for yourself, whatever, for Christmas. And it'd have a few paint colors in there to go ahead and get started with at least. Let me see what the colors are so I can tell you. So you know which one's white. No, it doesn't say. It's white. Sapphire blue metallic, yellow green, which was that one that we were using, that green, and scarlet red, and a bronze, and a pearl rose. So I'd probably go ahead and buy a set too, because you're not going to have all the colors that you would need to do this series with. Like, it doesn't come with the yellow, for instance. So I definitely think that it would be good to if you do get the that set, and want to do this particular series here, you would probably need another set of colors too. Oh, see, I don't know if I should have put these side by side because they both have that yellow, but oh well. Like, I think I might paint the backgrounds. I don't really like this, and so probably paint over those and start over again. But, ooh, got a super chat. What? Or do you like that? Or maybe like that. I don't know.
Yes.
Yay.
We have a super chat.
Woohoo.
It was from Maggie.
Aw.
There was no special message, but thank you very much, Maggie. We appreciate it.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Really sweet. Thank you, Maggie. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, or at least Maggie did. And let me see here. I'm going to add just a little highlight on his beak. I just noticed his beak is looking a little bit dark. So I'm going to get some white here.
And real quick,
A little bit of orange, yellow. Yep.
this is only applicable to people who are watching this in the now, which is we will be going through our time change tonight. So the show next week, like on Tuesday, will be at a different time, your local time possibly. So double check with YouTube and hit the remind bell because it'll have your time that we start on your video.
Yeah, so if your time changes differently than ours, like mountain time, people don't.
Right, like some people in Europe changed last week. So
okay.
It's all discombobulated this time of year.
I see. Good thinking. All right, there we go. Really fun. So I think the next, like I would, looking at this, I would probably do like a goldfinch that has an orange beak. Do a couple more birds with orange beaks. Maybe do a female cardinal. Do a woodpecker or two. Just like try to pick out birds that have different colors that we haven't used, different shapes, different sizes and that kind of thing, and give it a good variety. But there's infinite variety of birds out there, obviously.
Yeah, you can do some that are local to your region of the world.
Right, yeah. Mark's taking pictures of birds in our backyard. We could grab one of those photos and use it. But
yeah. Hey, they would like to know, would you sign these?
Yes, I would probably. If you did sign them, you could either sign them on the bottom, like I would probably sign it, here, or sign it with just like initials or something really small down in here, or really, really tiny with a pen down along the bottom. But yeah, I always do sign my ornaments for sure. But yeah, on something like this where you were having it, so visible, that kind of thing, you probably don't want, your signature on every single one of the faces. So signing it along the edge is a good option for that. But yeah, there we go. So thanks guys for watching. Thanks to Arteza for sponsoring so many videos this month and last. It's been really awesome working with them. And we've got lots more coming up this month, and my November schedule is out. So check that out down in my click on my name or my photo there. It'll take you to my channel homepage where you can see all the upcoming videos in November. Got lots of Christmas stuff coming up. So I know this is early for starting Christmas, but I figure if you start it now, you might have it ready for December, so that's the idea. So first week in November, and then you could work on it, and hopefully get these all done before December 1st and be able to have it ready to go and all fun stuff. So all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you weekend, I guess. And we'll see you next time. Bye.